Anyway, Trisha Hennessy, thank you so much for coming back to us for another lovely episode of Food is Medicine.
From that point of view, we need to start eating foods like these in the Mediterranean, but foods that are nutritionally dense and full of vitamins and unprocessed. That's the big word we're looking for. Foods that are unprocessed. So what are we looking for? We're looking for fresh food, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fresh fish, and cut down on the meats, the red meat particularly. That leads to inflammation as well. And it's all right maybe once a week, if you want a nice steak or something, but not on a daily basis. So we want to structure the food plan for ourselves that encompasses more protein and food that is very fresh. So I've three little Scud missiles to throw into the conversation before I forget them. First of all, Greek yogurt is very high in protein. And especially at this stage of our lives, we need protein because protein is the best for repairing damage to our muscles, to our bones, and everything. So we need a high protein diet. Okay.
Mhm.
So we said that protein comes obviously in lean meats, and yeah, you're not going to be eating 4 or 5 chicken breasts a day. I heard him on your man that's in Gladiator, the actor, the
Paul,
Irish actor. What's
Paul
his name?
Mescal.
Yeah,
Paul
Paul
Mescal.
Mescal.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Graham Norton asked him how does he get the muscles. He said eating 6 chicken breasts a day. Well, I wouldn't recommend that. There were easier ways to get protein into the body. Okay, so the three Scud missiles I'm throwing there are turmeric, which I'm always going on about, and sprinkling it with black pepper. It is now being found that most of the ground turmeric that's coming out of India, which is the main exporter, is laced with lead and tin. So not safe to eat, not safe to eat. So if you have it in the press, just throw it out. And what I suggest you use fresh turmeric, which you'll get. I'm only familiar with Dunn's, but I'm sure in Dublin you can get in loads of places. It looks like a first cousin of fresh ginger. It's slightly darker, right? Now you just have to be careful that it will stain your fingers and it will stain your clothes if you rub it up against you. Okay, so treat it the very same way as ginger. Give it a little wash in the sink, and then just chop a piece off and finally chop it. And that's your fresh turmeric, which nothing has been done with or nothing has been added to, and it is very good for your body. Okay, but just check with your doctor if you're on blood thinners, because turmeric and blood thinners do not go together. Yeah. So let's talk about getting oily fish into our diet, or if something is too cumbersome to make or to be always, you have it in the fridge and you turn it upside down and say, "Oh Jesus, what am I going to do with this? It's going out of date." So the quickest way to get oily fish, like, is we'll say mackerel is a lovely oily fish. Smoked mackerel is widely available. So I would suggest that you make a smoked mackerel pate, seal it down into a tub and leave it in the fridge, and every time that you want, a cracker or some of, I'll be doing it in a minute, or high protein bread, put it on that. So that's a good way of getting the oily fish into you.
That's
Another way of getting the oily fish into you is um, if you make fish cakes. Now,
mhm.
as I go mad when I go out and I see fish cakes, and I'd say to the little waiter, "Are they potato cakes or are they fish cakes?" I think you know what I mean. Like that, it's 90% potato, and there's even is there a smattering of fish in them? So I've developed a method that ensures that it's fish. So I'm going to say for 60 grams of mashed potatoes, we'll use 400 grams of, and I'm using trout. But if you want to use salmon still, go ahead and use the salmon. There's no difference, but I'll be using trout. So skin your salmon or your trout and just leave it on the board. Get your mashed potatoes and put them into a bowl. And I'll Trina will send on these recipes to you. I'll be doing them up this evening. Then into that, add 4 spring onions, chopped roughly enough, the juice of 1 lemon, and the rind of half a lemon, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, a good handful of parsley, chopped fairly fine if you can, and that's it on the potato side. Now, so we have our trout or salmon on the board. We have skinned it. Now I want you to cut it into pieces, not tiny pieces. Just a small, about the size of your thumbnail. Okay.
Mhm.
So cut it into that and throw it into the bowl. And now with a metal spoon, fold that through the through the potato mixture. Do not start mashing it with your hands. That's what will happen is the fish will get all
break up with it.
break up, and that's what we want to avoid. So
Mm-hmm.
just fold it with a wooden spoon into it and throw in a tablespoon of panko crumbs. That'll help it come together. And then just get your hands down there and dirty and take out your fish cakes and shape them into whatever size you want to shape them into. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then just pass them through a little bit of beaten egg. And then I don't bother with the flour, to be quite honest. And what I put them into is I put them into gluten-free porridge oats.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
which again is giving you another little boost of nutrition, oatmeal. Now, the only thing you have to mind when you're frying them, I usually just put on the frying pan and we put a bit of Irish rapeseed oil in it. Olive oil is too good, and the other oils are no-nos. So a nice bit of Irish rapeseed oil, and just put down your fish cakes and give them a minute or two, and then just flip them over and then put them on a tray. Now, if you're going to use them straight away, pop the tray in the oven and give them another 5 minutes just to make sure the trout or the salmon is cooked and that the oatmeal is nice and crispy. And you can serve that with a lovely salad, some lemon, obviously some lemon wedges, some mayonnaise, whatever you want to serve it with. But it's a quite substantial, I'd call it a dinner, or at lunchtime, it would be quite substantial to eat. So that's that. And then the other one that we'll be putting up is a high protein bread. Now, excuse me, cottage cheese is after getting a new lease on its legs. For years, it was considered a diet food, and most people, God help them, used to turn their nose up at it. But now it's after becoming very popular. So I have a high protein bread, and again, the recipe will be up. So don't mind me telling you how to do it now. This is a bread that's very high in protein. For example, there's 12 grams of protein in one slice of this bread, and in one chicken breast, there's 10 grams of protein.
Wow.
So you can see how high this is in protein. And then if you put more protein on top of it, like an egg or like your smoked mackerel patty, you're blowing bells and whistles now altogether. So all you do is you blitz some porridge oats until it's like flour, just a couple of minutes, okay? You toss that into a bowl, then you add, now all the recipe, so all your quantities will be there in a minute. You put in some ground milled flax seeds, then you put in some, sorry, just give me 1 minute, milled flax seeds, olive oil, 5 eggs, a teaspoon of baking powder, a little bit of salt and pepper, and mix it all together. Pop it into a loaf tin and in the oven for an hour, and leave it go cold in the tin. Don't go messing with it. And then you can either, you won't use the whole loaf. Now it will last about 4 or 5 days until you have to start turning it into toast. So that's a very good, and it's a great sandwich bread as well if you're going to work. So you can pop whatever you want on that. And the other one we'll refer back to now again is hummus, which is great. If you're after making the smoked mackerel patty, well, what I would do is in the liquidizer, I'd make the hummus first, and I wouldn't bother cleaning it out, and then I'd make the smoked mackerel patty, because it's only just going to add to the flavour. You're not going to have too much in it. So a tin of chickpeas strained. We're not using the chickpea water, which is the agafaba. Now, at this moment, we'll do it another time. So the juice and the rind of 1 lemon, 2 cloves, I'll have all this in the recipe for you, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, a good bunch of parsley. Sorry, excuse me. A good bunch of parsley, and a teaspoon, no, sorry, hummus, I'm sorry. My mind is wandering. Oh, I'll get it back into gear now in a second. So, and a good blow, about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And all you do is blitz it all up. Because hummus to buy is expensive. And again, read the back of the packages. Some of the hummuses that they're starting to put stabilizers into to get a longer shelf life out of them. And we don't want stabilizers in our bodies.
Because we're looking at processed food again, aren't we? We do that.
You just need to put on the glasses and read the back of the package is what I say to you. So that's hummus. So I've sent you on the recipe for the fish cakes and the protein bread.
And this is the hummus. You were saying it's we need to read the back of labels, put on your glasses and check what's in it. Most food it does what it say on the tin. It must be what it is you're looking for. But there's a list of things that you often say we should look out for, and not buy the product if it has any of those preservatives or processed ingredients.
And if any of them have palm oil, that's an
Oh,
almighty danger. Yeah. And if it's properly made, it should only have olive oil in it. No
yeah,
palm oil, rapeseed oil, stable, or not, sorry, I beg your pardon, not rapeseed. Rapeseed oil is okay, especially the Irish one. But any stabilizers, or I love this one, flavor enhancers.
mm,
Like, you know straight away that you're not getting you're not getting the real deal. So,
mm. Yeah,
excuse me. So like a slice of the high protein bread and little a good dollop of that on top of a toast or oven with a cup of tea in the evening time. If you're not feeling that you want, if you had a late lunch, it's
yes.
perfect, and you'll feel all the better for it.
Yeah, absolutely. That absolutely sounds wonderful. I tell you what, if anybody tries this out, would it be lovely to hear how you get on with it?
Oh
If
yeah.
you make these recipes, send me in a photograph of how it turns out for you, or indeed just do the taste test and let us know how you're getting on with it. Because these are lovely, Trisha. So you're saying that foods that are that are colourful on our plate, that are plenty of oily fish, lots of fresh, you said it there in the beginning, lots of fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, um, cut down on red meat, and lots of fresh fish. And we're looking at the right things then.
Yeah, and just another one. It's been around the block a few times, but maybe only vegans and vegetarians used to use it. But another one that's very high in protein as well is quinoa. Jesus, Trisha,
Quinoa.
quinoa. So it's
Yes.
Quiona,
Oh,
quinoa.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
another complete form of protein. Now you
Yeah.
treat this baby the very same way as if it was couscous. It's a blank canvas. It's completely bland. So for every cup of quinoa that you use 2 cups of water. Right?
Right.
Bring it to the boil. Let it simmer for about 7 to 10 minutes, and then that's strain it off. But prior to um, boiling it, and I only learned this recently from my daughter who spent a long time in India, that the Indian people are absolutely flabbergasted that we Westerns don't wash rice. Like, I know I'm talking about quinoa, but it's the same difference that we don't wash rice 2 or 3 times before we put it on. So I would advise that you wash the 1 cup of quinoa before you put it in the boiling water 2 or 3 times, and that'll
Mhm.
get rid of anything that's in it. Now, so you have the quinoa cooked, and you taste it, and you go, "Oh Jesus, that tastes of nothing." No, it doesn't. It tastes of absolutely nothing. So you have a
Mhm.
blank canvas to go either hot or cold. What I usually do is I'll make up, a container of it and leave it in the fridge. So
Yeah.
if I fancy mixing it through, we'll say a salad, I
Yeah.
mix it through a salad. Or if it's cold and I want something warm for my tea that's not, full of white carbohydrates, the quinoa is your baby. So, for
Mhm.
example, if you wanted salad wise, you could put, your cherry tomatoes, your cucumber, your scallions, sweet corn, anything you like in it, and
Mhm.
a good salt and pepper and a good drizzle of olive oil, and just
Mhm.
keep tasting it, and you'll get a lovely salad. Now
Lovely.
you could also put nuts into it if you wanted to. You could also hop some sliced plums if you had them this time of the year, some apple. It doesn't make any difference. It's a blank canvas, so it will take on anything. And then if you wanted to have it hot, what you would do is you would just, excuse me, just fry off some onion and garlic over a low heat, and then
Mhm.
add I call them your curry spices. So curry powder, cumin, coriander. I'll have this recipe up for you as well. Coriander, turmeric, grate some turmeric and grate some ginger into it, and
Mhm.
leave that for a few minutes until they're cooked out, because those spices need to cook out. If you don't cook them out, you'll get them on the top of the dish and they'll taste chalky. So
So
now,
by cooking them, sorry to interrupt you there, by cooking them out, you mean put them on a pan and let them dry cook for a
no,
little
no,
while?
no. You
No?
can if you want. That's more with the likes of cumin seeds, where you want to get the flavor out of them. I'm
Ah,
talking about ground cumin
okay.
and ground coriander and
Mhm.
your fresh ginger and your fresh turmeric. No, just give it a couple of seconds is all. Mix it with the onion and the garlic, and
Oh, yeah.
then top in whatever vegetables you like. I like grated carrot, but you could use grated courgette. whatever vegetable you like. It's not going to take too long to cook because you're starving and you're cold, so you want something quick. So throw that in on top of it. Then a can of drained and rinsed chickpeas. Pop that into it, and then just finish it with some scallion and some fresh coriander and your anybody's. Now you could also add raisins to it as well. My husband can't stand raisins, so we don't put raisins into ours. But you could put raisins into it as well. You can put it's a blank sheet of paper. It tastes of nothing, so it's up to you to make it whatever you add to it. But it is gorgeous. And if you make too much of the hot one, you can put it in a container to cool down and have it for lunch the next day. Very filling, very filling.
Super.
But it doesn't give you the same. It doesn't make you feel bloated like if you eat a load of. We're back to the chicken breasts again. God bless us. But protein like that, because I don't think as we get older our digestive system is able to operate at full tilt and all these if we overpower it with protein. So
yes,
we're getting the protein in between the bread in sneaky ways, and we say the quinoa and the fish and the hummus. So that would suit us.
really. So all of this is really what you've given us today. Actually, is a wonderful, delightful, more interesting way of preparing protein meals for ourselves. And you what you said about protein there earlier on was that it's what we need. What did you say? Protein is what we need to build ourselves, build our muscles, our bones, all of that kind of thing.
I used to always call it the wear and tear.
The wear and tear.
Lord God, when you're in your 50s, you have plenty of wear and tear. And my sister is going in for a huge operation in Kappa. God bless her, please God, soon. It's her second hip operation. She got the first one done 12 years ago, but unfortunately the cement has collapsed. So they have to take all the cement out and start all over again. Now it's quite a major operation. And she's been a demon. She's been on the treadmill. She's been out walking and everything, even though she can hardly walk, trying to build up the muscles. So I said to her, she asked me about this protein bread, and I said, I'll get something and I'll bring it up to you. So, and it lasts about 5 days. So that's what I intend to do. I'll bring up a loaf of that. So that's sliced so that she won't be eating sliced pan in hospital.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Which will, you're already not feeling well. You don't need anything heavy and stodgy when you're lying around and not doing much, not burning it up in any way.
No, but I'd ask you all the next day you're in and you're not rushing. Just turn the back of any sliced pan and read what's in it. Your eye, the glass will fall off your face because your eyes will be out in stalks when you read all that's in it.
Okay, Trisha, this is brilliant. I thank you so much for this, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon. But those of us who are here can look forward also to your new podcast you're doing with Dermot. Is it Dermot O'Neill? No, sorry,
Dermot
Trisha.
O'Neill, yeah.
Yeah, Dermot O'Neill, you and Dermot, the two ducks, and you're going to be discussing all kinds of food issues, food ingredients, how to make good food choices, informing ourselves so that we have an idea of what we're getting, much the same as you were telling us there about turmeric from India and salmon. And thank you so much, Trisha, again for coming along today and giving us so much more food for thought about how really food is medicine, and it's what we can use to fuel ourselves right through the winter time in the best possible way, in the most delightful way, pleasing all our senses. Trisha, thank you so much, and the very best of luck to you until we see you again and talk to you again. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Bye.